I accidentally saved $500,000. I saved my company $500,000 in about 5 minutes. This is more money than I've made for my employers over the course of my entire career because this industry is a sham. I clicked about 5 buttons. Let's start with some background because it is a fucking wild that an inefficiency that took me 5 minutes to solve in a GUI configuration panel was allowed to persist. We canceled someone's contract this week before I did this. Someone lost their job because no one could get their act together long enough to click the button I told them to click.
It's just like my first job out of school, it was like at a larger corporation and there was red tape for everything. And this is bringing back some flashbacks. We gotta have a meeting. Gotta have some meetings about clicking that button before we can get it. Gotta get some sign off.
Before you just start clicking buttons, let's get the tactical team together, then present it to the VP about how we're gonna click this button. I've been at a company that was both high paced and high red tape, and it was crazy. It was crazy. All right, a few years ago at this company, a few years ago, this company decided that it wanted to create an analytics platform following the decision to become more data-driven. They hired some incredibly talented people to make this happen, and then like 5 times as many idiots. Dude, this article is just coming out the gates. At the time this was happening, I had just graduated and joined the organization as a data scientist. I'm somewhat of a data scientist myself. Now, is he part of the idiot camp or a part of the smart camp?
Unclear. I mean, he's the one that saved him $500,000, so he seems like a genius, you know?
Genius. He also said it was on accident. And now saying that he's been telling people to push this button for a long time. We, of course, did not do any data science because the organization did not require any data science to be done. What they actually needed to do was fire most of the staff in every team, leaving behind the 2 people who actually had good domain knowledge, then allow them to collaborate with good engineering teams to build sensible processes and systems. Instead, they hired a bunch of big firm consultants. You can see where this is going already.
Can see.
Have you been in a big firm consultant workshop, TJ?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking we should start Big Firm Consultants like as a company. Just name it Big Firm Consultants, and we can come in and promise to 0.5x any progress the company has.
We will be able to successfully make you the most unsuccessful company of all time.
Skip the drama. We'll do it at half the price.
I like this idea. Big and Firm LLC.
LLC, yeah.
That might be the best. Chat, you might have just said the funniest thing you've ever said. You should just retire now. You've just done it.
No more chats, please.
No more chats.
Peaked.
All right. Nonetheless, at the time I was young and took the organization at its word. Executives would tell us constantly how excited they were for us to roll out new AI initiatives. Then tell us there was no time. So could we please get that report to them in a spreadsheet? And yeah, I mean, this is actually a real feel. And I'd ask for some sort of compute to perform some machine learning or even set up data pipelines. It never worked. Instead, we were told that we just had to wait for the Advanced Analytics Platform, AAP, to be deployed. You see, it's December. It's launching in January. Then in January, I was told to be patient. It was coming in March. Then in June, I was told it had to be put on hold due to COVID. This was a very convenient excuse because they had absolutely effed the whole project up already, but it brought some valuable time. It bought some valuable time. By next December, I had left the organization and the AAP was still nowhere to be seen.
How long do you think we'll still be able to blame projects missing timelines on COVID? Like, I know Wheel of Time is still saying that their show is bad because of COVID, but I'm like wondering when that excuse doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, the Wheel of Prime is probably gonna ride that out as long as possible.
Yeah, we just it's still season 8. We're still struggling to catch back up.
Yeah, we never caught back up. Just never quite got there. You know, it's I still see some people referencing it, but it's largely I haven't seen it in a while to where someone actually realistically uses COVID as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'd be pretty hard at this point. It's pretty hard to sell that as an excuse.
Yeah. Especially like you're an all remote company already.
No one's in the office. Well, actually, you know,
Guys, it's just we can't do it. I don't know. It's been remote for 3 years.
I know we pretended to be locked up for our
Yeah.
entire life as a remote company, but now it's
Yeah.
really hard. We skipped ahead 3 years. The AAP is finally ready to
boy.
launch. 5? What is that? 5 total years in development?
Yeah, wait a second. It's just then okay, 3 years later, and now it's now.
Okay, so that means 5 years ago they started it, and now it's going to be shipped. It turns out none of the features I needed were ever planned, so I guess they were just lying to me before I left.
Nice.
Okay, 4 engineers leave the company in the same week, and I speak with the directors because I know they need a real engineer in, and they can't find them. I am substantially less experienced engineer than many of the readers here, but suffice it to say that I can read documentation without panicking. Okay, I mean already I can't read, so like
S tier.
that is our. I mean he's you me.
Yeah.
All right, which is
He's just
considered
rubbing
S
it in.
tier in this country. Yes, it is. My conditions: a big pile of money, and they had put me on the AAP team because they're the only team that gets actual toys to play with. Part 2.
Nice.
It sucks. The more you curse, by the way, YouTube videos tend to demonetize cursing.
It's true.
I don't know if you know this. It's an insane dumpster fire spider web of technical debt, and it's only like 1 week old. Here are some fun details. Well, it's 5 years of somebody making capital D design decisions.
Yeah.
Let's see. I get a friend of mine hired, a big fan of nepotism, and he finds on day 1 a file in the project's repository that deletes prod using our CI/CD. Wait, what? That deletes prod using our CI/CD pipelines if it is ever moved into the wrong folder.
Yeah.
I don't even get that.
Common
How did someone even
strategy.
design such a system?
It's a common strategy. Instead of get hooks, they just were like, what if we delete everything instead of checking this before you commit? We just delete prod.
I would like to walk through someone's head that this was a valid strategy to begin with. Like the team meeting. So what are we going to do if they move it? Burn the whole ship down. Burn everything.
And we don't do backups here. That's for the weak.
We don't mess up. We
You don't
intentionally
trust
delete
yourself?
prod.
I bet you use a seatbelt.
Oh no. This makes no sense. It was produced by a former lead engineer who has moved to a new role before his sins catch up with him. Yeah, this is
Good
completely
strategy.
reasonable. It comes. Oh, sorry, I missed this part. It comes complete with the key and password required for admin account. Let's go.
Sweet.
Nothing like checking in the old credentials in plain text. The
Sweet.
entire thing is stitched together by spreadsheets that are parsed by Python, dropped into S3, parsed by Lambdas into more S3. The S3 files are picked up by MongoDB, then Mongo records are passed to another Lambda into S3. The S3 files are pulled into Snowflake via Snowpipe. The new Snowflake data is pivoted by a JavaScript stored procedure into a relational format, and that's how you edit someone's database access. The whole process is to upload like 2 KB CSV into a database that has people's database roles in it.
Let's go.
This is impressive. Again,
Yeah.
I want to meet these people. Like,
How did they ship this in 5 years? This would have taken me a lot longer.
I don't like honestly. I'm not sure if I could accomplish what they have accomplished. This is impressive. To use that
Is
many
this
individual
text
technologies.
engineer?
Imagine creating a scaled MongoDB sharded instance, because it doesn't like Mongo at this point takes like 3 Mongos to run, right? And there's like this whole sharding strategy that you have to get into. Like, imagine putting all that together just to put it back into Lambda.
They literally just they parsed a CSV and then put it into a database. Like, it's practically a database in CSV. Like,
CSV is poor man's database. That's all it is.
it's just a table.
This is considered more auditable. Everything is transformed into a CSV because the security team demanded something that could undergo easy scanning for malicious content. They never, then they never deployed the scanning tool. So, This hurts. So we have all the downsides of the CSVs and none of the upsides. Perfect.
I like how they're like worried about malicious content, but they also just save the admin credentials in plain text. Like, guys, we really got to be careful. Someone could do something bad with the system. By the way, here's the password.
Oh, no. This is not satire. I actually honestly don't believe this is satire. I actually believe that this is real because I've seen things like this where it is an insane setup to accomplish sometimes the most trivial tasks.
Yeah.
Every Lambda function, the backbone of all the ETL pipelines, start with counter equals 1 because one of the early iterations used a counter and people have just been copying that line over and over. Senior data engineers have been copying that line over and over. I mean, that's fair. Here's the deal. Whenever you put something into code, somebody else is going to copy it because they don't understand why it's there. Okay? To be completely fair.
And you know what happened is somebody at one point deleted counter equals 1 on one of the scripts where they actually used the counter. Right? So then from that day forward, that's the first thing you warn people when they make one. Guys, okay, don't delete the counter equals 1. Like, it has to be there. Otherwise, it takes down prod and you're going to get paged.
You know it to be true. The test suites and CI/CD pipelines have been failing for months because someone during debugging chose to use the Linux T command to log any error to both standard out and a file at the same time. By the way, I love the T command. Great for some command line foo. Not sure I'd use it in CI/CD.
You're probably watching your stream.
Yeah. I don't think I'd use it in CI/CD though. But T successfully executing was overwriting the error code from the failing tests. Nice.
It's green, baby.
It's so green. To get access to the password for any API, we need to hit. You search for something like service password for in an AWS service, which returns the value service password, as in literally all the values are the same as the keys. Then you use that to look up the actual password in a completely different service. No one knows why we do this. I also believe this. Like, this is just something I completely believe exists. The script that generates configuration files for our pipeline starts with 600 lines of comments because senior engineers have been commenting the lines out in case they're needed later. The lines are just setting the same variables to different values, and they're all on GitHub anyway.
Nice. They use GitHub, though. I'm impressed.
There's something.
Yeah.
I'm confused at how they got all their deletion going. Someone wrote a GitHub workflow that deletes everything based on that one file being moved. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is an organization that some percentage of readers will recognize on sheer brand strength if they're in my country. Oh, that's funny. See, I don't recognize this. I'm not even getting started, but we have to stop for now because I'm going to catch fire. These details are important because you now understand the kind of operational incompetence that allows you to waste so much money on processing less than a terabyte of data per day that it dwarfs your team's salary. Nice. All right, number 3, the budget. This is literally my workplace. Is this literally your workplace?
Uh-oh.
Bash Bunny, we're not in the same room. We're on. This is Ping, by the way.
I wish we were
Ping.gg.
in the same room.
But TJ will be in the same room with me in what?
Like a month?
A
2
month.
months?
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. You're going to come over and hang out with me.
True.
All right. The next thing to realize is that this platform never really had a chance of making any money for the organization. They do a little accounting trick, read lying, which I'll talk about in another post that makes it seem like they've had huge wins, but really this is just many times more expensive than our previous operational model. I love this.
This is a genius strategy.
The deal is that we pretend the whole team is doing something or other, and we stay within budget because the organization can't afford to spend infinite money on this social fiction. However, the budget for our database costs was being drastically overrun. I'm not sure what the original estimate was, but I think it was intended to cost something like $200K a year of operations. But we were now close to $1 million.
Let's go.
Okay, I'd be surprised if you did database operations. When they say operations, is he talking about the cost of running the thing or the cost of maintaining the thing?
No, I think he's saying literally operational costs for the whole pipeline, like with S3 and Lambda and Snowflake and like all the things together.
Okay.
It's like 1 million.
Impressive. This is truly impressive. Let's see, some quick facts. We use Snowflake as our database, which charges you based on the size of the computer you use to run your queries. Okay? I'd have to understand that more. That sounds like a confusing way to measure. You will pay you only pay for the computers while they're on. Okay, that seems reasonable. We probably run a few thousand queries per week, mostly developers experimenting with little tweaks for Power BI reports. This is the second time I've ran into this Power BI thing. Power BI is like a no-code tool, isn't it?
I don't know, but I feel like this space is ripe for someone to make an alternative. Maybe Power Try or something like the next level. And you could make something that works.
Power BI, as I'm being told, is a data viz tool like Tableau. Oh, it's a data viz tool like Tableau. It's Tableau, but by Microsoft. Oh, shoot. That sounds awful.
Oh, that sounds productive.
Yeah. Cool. Didn't we used to call that Access?
Ooh, Access is actually kind of cool, though.
What was that, TJ?
Dude, Access was the first time I ever saw a database, and I was like, wow, you can see what's in there?
Cancel, TJ. Yeah, we have some people in... Access was cool. He said it. Access was not cool. Okay, TJ?
I'll stand by it. I've already been banned from chat 3 times today.
Nightshade banned.
Nightshade, you can't hurt me here, buddy.
You've been banned again. Reason, Access.
Oh, man. It was in my first time I ever saw a database, chat.
Okay.
It's pretty cool if you've never seen a database before.
The computers are set to idle for 10 minutes after every query. I assume that is because it's trying to optimize not having a startup cost. Maybe startup costs some amount of time, and therefore if you keep it on when another query comes in, it should be good. But if I'm reading this correctly, they're running a few thousand queries per week, which means that you're probably never going to hit this 10-minute idle business. I noticed this about a month into joining the team and suggested we don't have the computers run for like 2 orders of magnitude longer than they need to for every query. I literally can't remember what was said. There was some agile bullshit about doing a discovery piece. Then it just never happened. Dude, all good ideas go to die in agile. I swear this is real. I swear this is absolutely real. You come up with a great idea that takes almost no effort, and then you have to go and like do discovery.
You gotta prove that the idea can work, but the proving that the idea could work is 10 times as hard as just like actually trying it.
Can I just flip a switch and we'll just see what happens? No.
That's next sprint material.
That's totally next sprint material. You never go
We need
full
to decide
agile.
how many story points that is, dude. What's the user story for this?
All right, we need the Scrum Master. Come on, Scrum Master, come in here. Number 4, just do the thing. Anyways, months later, they finally give me a card that says Discovery, Optimize Costs.
Yes.
There it is. Now I have to optimize costs so that I have something to say at the next stand-up. And fortunately, I know just the thing. I test my hypothesis that this is all a sick joke, and I'm going to push the button that I secretly think should obviously have been pushed. We've got a new guy on another team who seems excellent, so I asked management if I can give him admin credentials since we need competent people. They say no. I flick him some lower-level database credentials that I technically wasn't told not to do since they aren't admin credentials. And he sanity checks that I would save money. At 4 p.m. on the last day of the week, I ping the chat full of good engineers and no managers to make sure I am not about to nuke everything, then just do it.
Let's go. The secret group chat that's running the company.
Dude, I don't know, I don't think that exists at Netflix, which means that A, I'm not a good engineer, or B, we're all good engineers. There's only 2 things there.
This is the only 2 options.
But I am not in a secret Slack channel, I'll tell you that much, which emotionally hurts right now. I feel emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a manager now? Damn it. I don't want to be one. Oh man, clueless, not invited. This is actually painful.
And no managers. Very clearly stated.
Oh, my goodness. I returned to work the following Monday. I suspected that this would save a bunch of money, and guess what? Our projected bill drops from $1 million to $500,000, and everyone is losing their minds. My team has spun this huge cost saving when we really just applied a fire extinguisher to a pile of money that we had set alight. Fair. Other teams are attacking my team, insisting that it can't be a coincidence that the new guy joined exactly as we did this. And how was it possible? We didn't know how to generate that kind of savings without his help. They're all saying this because it makes them seem higher status, and their team only produce money in the land where you lie all day. But it is a fair question. You know,
They're just trying to read the signs. This guy came over on Friday, and you guys saved $500,000.
Ain't no way this ain't a coincidence here. You hired a stealth senior engineer, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you guys were only supposed to have 3 seniors. Why are you getting this? You know, they're all like angry about staffing problems.
You know, I always get confused by this in some sense, which is whenever something good happens, I've seen this done, right? We've seen this done like you can think of Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate happens, and then a bunch of people get upset about Baldur's Gate happening.
And being good.
Being like a good finished game. That's just the game as it is.
Yep.
And it's funny. I have a charisma, by the way. But it's funny that this happens, and it happens more regularly than we realize, that something good happens. Something in which we should all go. And instead, there's like infighting that has to happen because people are upset about a good thing happening.
Yes.
Has that ever happened to you?
I think sometimes it happens. I see it more like in like open source stuff. I feel like where a project does well, and then like other projects are upset that it does well, you know, because their project isn't as doing as good as they were hoping for. I guess maybe it happened a little bit more in some of the like corporate world stuff, but I usually just don't do company politics. So then I'm not in the chat room with the people being angry. I let my boss manage that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I try to avoid the whole politicking as well because I just emotionally can't handle it.
Yeah.
While my managers are very happy, they quietly suggest it may be unwise to roll out the changes to all the computers. I only did a few to be safe because it would oversaturate the department to hear about us all day and invite unwelcomed questions. The subtext is that if we do this all slowly enough, it might seem like it took a lot of effort instead of just clicking buttons that I said had to be clicked almost a year ago.
Let's go. This is removing like sleep 10.
It literally is.
Put a bunch of sleep 10s in your code, and then throughout the year, remove them one at a time. That's literally the recommended strategy.
It's emotionally painful. This is actually emotionally painful. I am asked to write some PowerPoints, which included phrases like a careful statistical analysis of user usage patterns indicated an opportunity to more effectively allocate resources, implying that nothing was wrong. We just needed to collect more data before deciding not to let the expensive machines idle all day.
It's the agile way.
I dread someone asking me to explain what the change was because I will have to yeet some managers I like under the bus, but they can't resist talking about the change nonstop because it is the closest some of them will ever get to impacting the bottom line. That's like the saddest statement I think I've ever said out loud ever in my entire lifetime.
This is like reading a DM with Old Man Judo, and he's making fun of Twitch chatters.
It is. This actually reads like a Dax line or an Old Man Judo line.
It's true. Yeah, either one would be good.
You could just substitute any of them in, and it would just be a perfect fit. And Judo's already in here. Well, hold on. Let's see. And many of them are actually decent managers. It's just that this whole department, like many departments, is some sort of weird political psyop to get executives promoted. It's cosplaying as a real business, and the board thinks the costume is convincing.
So many good absolute banger lines in this one.
It really is. Whoever wrote this, we got to get this guy out here. Number 4, the aftermaths and the takeaways. By identifying a handful of good engineers and going totally rogue, we outperformed the entire department pretty effortlessly. The competent people are there, just made totally impotent by the organization. And I'm still convinced that this place is probably better than the median organization. Dang. That is quite the phrase. I asked management for a 30K raise after saving 500K, and my message is still unread. I suspect I will eventually receive either nothing or 5K.
Nice. Let's go.
Hey, 5K, come on. I I have been in more meetings now because everyone wants to talk about how we saved money. I had to make a PowerPoint. Kill me. That is so good. I would have been better off not doing anything. Let that be a lesson to you. Do you hear me? I applied myself for 5 minutes against my own better judgment, had the greatest success of my career, and immediately been punished for it. Learn from my mistakes, I beg you. P.S. While this is doing immense traffic, any similar stories being sent to lucidityhackernews at Gmail would be greatly appreciated, so I feel less alone in this madhouse. That is just so hilarious. Oh, poor guy.
I know. He doesn't even get to write code anymore. He doesn't get to play with the AI tools he signed up to be a data scientist for. He is now a PowerPoint engineer.
It's really where all good engineers go to die is PowerPoint.
Yep. True.
Man. You know, at one point I will say that I became somewhat of a PowerPoint engineer myself. I had to write a lot.
Wait,
of
and I got
Google Docs.
canceled for saying Access wasn't the worst thing in the world. This is not fair.
This is pretty much all normal. No, it's not, Juno. I mean, this is why I do like I like the idea of working at startups. I think the reason why startups work and then they stop being great is that people had to actually build something, and then it gets bought by a big company, and then it's not real anymore.
Well, at like a startup, he would have just been able to click the button, right?
Yeah.
Like that. What they wouldn't have gotten this far along. They never would have been spending twice as much money because it would have just been like, well, what if we click the button? Guys are like, okay, yeah, sure. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Click it on a weekend so it doesn't bother us.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't do it on Friday afternoon. That'd be like he did it on Friday afternoon. That's like the only thing he wouldn't be able to do in a startup. They'd be like, just wait till Monday morning at least, dude. I want to take a nap this weekend. I need to go get some Phil's coffee and get a few more stickers on my MacBook, bro. Like, stop, dude. Wait till Monday.
It's pretty good. By the way, you've been retimed out for 1.2 million seconds, just so
That's
you know.
a lot of seconds.
I don't know what's been going on in chat, but your timeouts have just been going on and off.
I haven't been able to read any chat messages this whole time. I've been banned my whole appearance today.
So yeah, I became somewhat of a PowerPoint engineer when I was doing some open source stuff at its particular company. You may have heard of both of them. And you know how emotionally painful it gets when you're on like day 22 of just writing Google Docs, explaining why what you're doing is a good idea?
Yep. And the company's spending 10x as much to solve the problem as you'd be able to do to just fix it, which also hurts really bad. Like, people, I feel like, sometimes don't have any concept that like the time of things costs money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at work, like when you have a meeting and there's 10 people, and like if the meeting's an hour, that's a whole work day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming everyone's equally paid, but you know that's not the case. Sometimes there's...
Yeah, true. You're usually pulling in
directors.
someone. Yeah.
There's someone higher up. They just sit in meetings all day.
For the ones where you're trying to get something approved, where you need some sign off, there's somebody getting paid twice as... So it's like 2 days worth of of time. Yeah.
It's wild. Hey, Soy Chaotix here, the Scrum Master of all Scrum Masters.
Oh my goodness, nice. Hey. Bing chat for Halloween.
Bing chat for Halloween.
She was Bing chat for Halloween.
She was genuinely
Bing
chat. I saw it.
Yeah.
All right, hey. The name?
I'm banned in chat again.
Again.